Hi, you're watching Hindustan Times, and I am Aditi Prasad. With Diwali around the corner and the COVID induced new normal, it is only opportune that I have with me today Saurabh Agarwal, CEO of Octro. Now, Octro is one of the fastest growing mobile phone gaming company in India, and it owns the three most played games, Teen Patti, Online Rummy, and Tambola Online. Now, Saurabh, hi, welcome to the show. How has the lockdown impacted the popularity, the downloads, or even just the use of the game? What has been the impact of the lockdown on your business?
Aditi, thanks for having me here. So the lockdown, right? I mean, lockdown gave people a lot of free time, and we saw them spend quite a bit early on during the first few months of the lockdown onto our platforms, right? People were searching for ways to connect online with their friends and families, and because all of our games are social and they allow you to play with your friends and family, we saw a very large uptick in our games, right? For example, one of our games, Tambola, where we also had a party feature where people could invite a bunch of their friends and play together. We
Right.
actually saw a 50x increase in our daily active users. Early part of lockdown, actually, we saw a lot of downloads. Our download numbers increased significantly. We saw much more time spent on the platform and all of that. I think in the last, I think post May, we've definitely seen that engagement go away as people start to engage with their normal lives more and more, which sort of expected as well. But we definitely were on the beneficial, we actually were a benefit of the lockdown. We actually benefited from the lockdown, initially in the early lockdown phase.
So if you, with Diwali around the corner now, and this being the season of Teen Patti, supposedly in India, uh, are you seeing another uptick?
So compared to previous year, we are definitely seeing about a 20% increase year over year on our Teen Patti engagement. That engagement was much higher, as I said, in the early part of the lockdown, where since then it has sort of started coming down a little bit, but it's still larger than what it was before the lockdown. I think we are definitely expecting a lot of offline activity to convert into online activity over the next few weeks as we enter into the final sort of 20 days before Diwali, right? I think we will see a lot of people play amongst groups, their friends and families who they cannot actually meet online, offline, they'll actually play on our platforms online, right? So we're definitely expecting a much larger jump this year for the Diwali season than what we got last year.
When you started out Octro, it was not totally into online gaming. What made you pivot towards games per se?
Right. So I have actually been a mobile smartphone focused entrepreneur since 2002. I started my first company in 2002, which I sold to a public company in 2005. Right, 2006, I started Octro as a voice over IP communication sort of platform. In 2000, I mean, I had only done consumer products, right? So was creating products that we were selling directly to customers and making money direct off of customers. So 2012, when we were looking back and we had really not scaled well as a consumer company in the communication genre, we looked at what was really making money off of consumers at that point of time. And 19 of the 20 top grossing apps on any of the app stores were games, right? So हमने कहा चलो let's actually start creating games because that is what is making money off of the consumers, and that
Right.
played out extremely well for us, right? 2014 we created India's first super hit game, to actually be on the top of the charts on both Android and iOS. उस time पे there was nothing in even the top 100 grossing which was Indian, right? All of the top 100 grossing apps in India were actually games that were coming out of the West.
Right.
Supercell ke games they, and there were games from Miniclip, etc. But we were the first company to actually build a top grossing game from India and have it rule the charts since from 2014 to almost 2018, where we held the number one grossing game title in India.
Are the tips that you would give them if they were to get into the online gaming space today? What are the areas that they should look at?
See, eventually creating games is a mixture of both art and technology, right? So I mean, you have to understand and create something that attracts the user. So the content is very important, but you also need the technology at the back end to give the users a good experience,
Right.
right? So I think understanding both the parts of it and really applying yourself in creating an experience that your users love is the most important part, right? But creating an experience and a user not being able to play it online because your servers are down, right, does not actually
Does
solve.
not, yeah,
uh,
serves no purpose. How will the banning of online games like PUBG and others impact your business?
PUBG getting banned definitely gave us and people who were sort of left with more engagement time from the customers, right? Because people were spending so much time on PUBG. Right now, if they did not have that time to spend on PUBG, they would actually spend that time somewhere else, right? And that
Right.
could be on some of our games. Unfortunately, none of the Indian companies actually had a good game in that particular genre, right? As a company, we've been trying to push and get into multiple genres and operate games. And as I told you about Soccer Battles, which is a game, it's a PvP game, action strategy, something which is not PUBG, but it is still not Team
There.
Pattu,
Yeah.
right? It's actually a fun to play sort of play it competitively sort of a game, right? So I mean, we've been trying to create games in different genres, and that was one of it. But none of us have had a game in the battle royale genre, which is PUBG. Right, I think a lot of that audience then moved away to maybe Free Fire or Garena games or whoever the other international titles were, as opposed to coming to any of our games because we did not have games in that genre. Uh, so I mean, that was an opportunity, but I think the industry was not prepared for it, honestly.
Is there a plan to develop those sort of games going forward, or you think the bus has sort of left the station?
Absolutely. See, gaming is an interesting thing, right? Eventually, people will move from one game to the other. There's going to be a new flavor of the month or the flavor of the year, every now and then, right? So
Right.
you will definitely see opportunities every now and then. And as a gaming company, what we want to do is we want to capture a large variety of genres, right? As Octro, we've created games in the trivia genre called, there's a game, very popular game that we created called Donkey Quiz, right? That, we definitely have games in the cards and casino genre, right?
Right.
We've created games in the casual genre as well, right? So we want to get into a very large set of genres so that we can have games for everyone, right? But from a battle royale perspective, we actually missed the bus, right? But
We
we are
missed.
definitely investing into games in those genres now.
All right, Saurabh, thank you so much for joining us.